Mount Vernon, known as the King City, is a city in and the county seat of Jefferson County, Illinois, United States. The population was 15,277 at the 2010 census. Mount Vernon is the principal city of the Mount Vernon Micropolitan Statistical Area, which includes all of Jefferson and Hamilton counties. History: 19th century. Mount Vernon was founded in 1817 by Zadok Casey, who was elected to the state senate in 1822 and was elected lieutenant governor in 1833. He served in the U.S. Congress between 1833 and 1843. The town was named for George Washington's plantation, Mount Vernon, which was named for Edward Vernon, a British naval hero. When the town was founded, there was no road to it. Travelers had to get there by either following the high ground from the north or crossing the swamps from the south. In the early 19th century, the Goshen Road crossed Illinois in a northwesterly direction from Old Shawneetown, Illinois, to the Goshen settlement, near what is now Edwardsville. This road was the main road in Illinois. When Mount Vernon was first settled, the Goshen Road made a wide arc across Jefferson County, crossing Casey Creek and the Big Muddy north of Mount Vernon, avoiding the swamps to the south but bypassing Mount Vernon. The road entered the county at its southeast corner. It passed through or near what are now Updike, East Salem, Idlewood, Dix, and Walnut Hill. However, it was apparent to the early settlers that the town would fail without roads. In 1820 to 1821, Ben Hood and Carter Wilkie built a bridge over Casey Creek, to the southeast of town. This bridge was near the present bridge on Illinois Route 142. A road was built from the northwest, over ground that is now impassable, toward the old cemetery behind the modern Bethel Cemetery. Deep cuts through the old cemetery attest to the location of the road. Further, the road probably followed modern Route 37 into town, somewhere shifting from 10th Street on west to 12th Street. After the state capital was moved to Vandalia in 1819, it became apparent that a road to Vandalia was needed. A party was sent out to the northwest to mark the road. In 1823, Thomas D. Minor and William Maxwell built the Vandalia Road, now called the Old Centralia Road. It runs northwest out of Mount Vernon to Walnut Hill, although legend says that this road is crooked because of the drunken state of the surveyors. The path is probably just the natural path of a pioneer road following the terrain. After the bridge and the Vandalia Road were built, Mount Vernon was on the map. The bridge across Casey Creek and the Vandalia Road provided a much shorter path across Jefferson County than the original Goshen Road. The new Goshen Road soon captured most of the traffic, and Mount Vernon became an important stop on the road west. In 1836, Joshua Grant came to Mount Vernon from Christian County, Kentucky, with several of his sons and daughters. His family was an extremely wealthy, Southern, slave-owning family, most of which soon moved to Arkansas, probably because slavery was illegal in Illinois. Joshua left behind several daughters and one son, Angus McNeil Grant, who soon became extremely important in the development of the town. Upon his arrival, there were but 4 or 5 houses in the place, and from that time to the present he has constantly and ably exerted himself in securing to it the full development of its resources. Angus M. Grant's brother, Joshua Jr., taught school in Mount Vernon in 1838. Some sources cite him as the first schoolteacher in the town. In 1848, the Illinois Supreme Court was relocated to Mount Vernon at what is currently 14th and Main Streets. The 5th District Appellate Court was constructed in 1854 according to the National Register of Historic Places and is still in use as the Appellate Courthouse. When the Supreme Court was in session, the important lawyers in Illinois, including Abraham Lincoln, gathered in Mount Vernon to argue the cases. The lawyers gathered at the Mount Vernon Inn, owned by Angus McNeil Grant and his in-laws, the Andersons. This building has been on the National Register of Historic Places since July 2, 1973. In the 1870s, Mount Vernon for a time prohibited the sale of alcohol. A village called East Mount Vernon was organized in 1877 to allow the sale of alcohol. A court fight eventually held that the village was organized illegally. Mount Vernon then voted alcohol back in, and the area of East Mount Vernon was annexed into the city. On February 19, 1888, a tornado cut a path a half-mile wide through Mount Vernon, killing 37 people and destroying more than 450 houses. The Jefferson County courthouse was destroyed. This event was one of the first disasters to which the American Red Cross responded. Clara Barton herself directed the relief efforts. The Mount Vernon Car Manufacturing Company opened in 1889 after moving from Litchfield, Illinois. This relocation may have been an outgrowth of the relief efforts following the tornado. The Louisville and Nashville Railroad hauled in some 1,900 carloads of supplies for reconstruction of the town. Somehow, this effort translated into a major business building railroad cars, at first building about 10 cars per day. By 1909, the car shops were producing 25 cars per day, employing more than 1,000 workers, with a payroll of $60,000 per month. 20th and 21st centuries. During World War II, portions of the car shops, as they had to come to be known, were converted over to wartime production, including the production of bomb casings. Around 1939, a portion of the car shops was purchased by Precision Engineering, which originally built components for locomotives. During the 1970s, this company purchased old diesel-electric railroad locomotives, which it scrapped out to refurbished. Today, the plant thrives as a hub for National Railway Equipment Company, which rebuilds and services diesel-electric locomotives for rail lines across the globe. Ironically, the facility is poised to again become one of the area's largest employers as sales of its innovative hybrid locomotives fuel plant expansion to include another facility across town. In 1954, the car shops closed, causing a temporary jump in unemployment throughout the city and the 108 communities called home by its former employees. The interstate highway system was built in the late 1950s and 1960s. The concurrency of I-57 and I-64 is along the western border of the ridgeline which divides the Big Muddy River and Casey Creek. The Stack interchange on the southwest side of town complements the historic Casey Creek bridges, allowing much shorter travel times through the swamps to the east and south. In April 2007, Mount Vernon voters elected the first female mayor of the city, Mary Jane Chesley. She was sworn into office on May 7, 2007. Geography. Mount Vernon is located at 38.31351 degrees north, 88.908159 degrees west, 38.31351 minus 88.908159. According to the 2010 census, Mount Vernon has a total area of 13.151 square miles, of which 13.07 square miles is land and 0.081 square miles is water. The community is about 80 miles east of St. Louis, Missouri. Mount Vernon is located on high ground between Casey Creek and the Big Muddy River, which joins south of the town in what is now Rindley. In pre-settlement times the area around these waterways was a swamp, a heavily forested area that was waist-deep in water during much of the winter and during wet summers. Mount Vernon was thus often surrounded by water and swamp on three sides. High ground was located to the north of Mount Vernon. A ridge ran between the Big Muddy River and Casey Creek north toward what is now Dix. There are high places both west and east of Mount Vernon from which one can see the town as a forested point of high ground jutting out into the bottoms. These high places are, for the west, near the Woodlawn interchange off Interstate 64 and from the east on Old Fairfield Road near Summersville School, with the highest point located on Old Route 15 right before it merges with New Route 15, near Blueford. Demographics. As of the census of 2010, there were 15,277 people, 6,702 households and 3,781 families residing in the city. The population density was 1,168.7 people per square mile. There were 7,534 housing units. The racial makeup of the city was 80.6% white, 14.7% African American, 0.3% Native American, 1% Asian, 0.0% Pacific Islander, and 2.6% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 2.4% of the population. There were 6,702 households, out of which 25.8% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 35% of all households were married couples living together. 16.3% had a female householder with no husband present, and 43.6% were non-families. 37.6% of all households were made up of individuals, and 16.1% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.23 and the average family size was 2.92. In the city the population was spread out, with 24.3% under the age of 18, 6.2% from 20 to 24, and 18% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 38.3 years. Males represent 46.5% of the population, and 34% of the population was male and over 18. Women were 53.5% of the population, 41% of the population being female and over 18. The median income for a household in the city was $32,549, and the median income for a family was $36,660. Males had a median income of $28,324 versus $16,497 for females. The per capita income for the city was $21,283. About 19.9% of families and 23.7% of the population were below the poverty line, including 35.4% of those under age 18 and 11.7% of that age 65 or over. 53.9% of households earn less than $35,000. Of the population over age 25, 72.7% have no college degree. 13.6% of those over 25 have no high school diploma nor equivalent. 7.6% of the population has a bachelor's degree or higher. According to the U.S. Census, healthcare services and social services employ the second most people with 1,001 estimated jobs. Accommodation and food services are the highest employer with 1,146 estimated jobs. Economy. Mount Vernon hosts a 48-acre facility for Continental Tire of North America. It is also home to major distribution centers for Napa, National Railway Equipment, Alco and IPT, and Walgreens, along with many other smaller industries such as Vanac, Central Wholesale Liquors, Ilmo Welding Supplies, Pepsi of Mid-America, A.L. Lee Corporation, Goodman Air Conditioning, U.S. Supply Co., Mine Supply Company, National Fabrication, IBT, Bearing Headquarters, Mount Vernon Mold Works, Visa Forklift Service Center, Black Forklift Service Center, Penske, Billman Trucking, Clinton County Ready Mix, Callison Wholesale Liquor, Praxair, Ultron Electronics, FedEx, UPS, Overnight, Springfield Electric, Mount Vernon Electric, Roadway Express, Guaranteed Freight, Bennett Metals, Sun Container, 3 States Supply Co., Phoenix Modular Elevator Company and Peta Trucking, which are located in or within close proximity to the city's 3 industrial parks. There is discussion of creating a 4th industrial park which is to be used for distribution centers in the area of the new interchange. This park would encompass 100 acres and would be eligible for tax increment financing and enterprise zone benefits. Development includes a Kohl's department store which opened early 2011 and Buffalo Wild Wings which opened December 19, 2010. 2 new TIF districts have been created. One TIF is at Exit 95 and is a conservation, industrial use. Exit 94 is an industrial park conservation TIF. Pepsi has built a new service and distribution center that was completed in March 2011. It is located off of the Davidson Avenue extension. Top employers according to Mount Vernon's 2014 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. The top employers in the city are arts and culture. Mount Vernon is home to Cedarhurst, which is a 90-acre site. Cedarhurst celebrates the arts year-round with visual and performing arts programs for the public. The Cedarhurst Craft Fair is held yearly in early September on the grounds. In addition to its programs on property, the Mitchell Museum is located on the Cedarhurst grounds. The city is host to an event the first Saturday of each month from April through October called Market Days. This is an open-air market held near downtown and is similar to a craft fair or flea market. There is also the Jefferson County Historical Museum and Village located within incorporated Mount Vernon. The museum and the village reflect life in Jefferson County from the mid-19th century to more recent years. The C.E. Brem Memorial Public Library, built in 1905, is a source of information to the community and is located downtown. Beatles guitarist George Harrison once bought a guitar from Fenton's Music Store in Mount Vernon in 1963 while he was visiting his sister in nearby Benton, Illinois. The guitar sold at auction for $657,000 in 2014. Parks. Mount Vernon has multiple community parks with varying amenities. Wayne Fitzgerald State Recreation Area is located due south near Benton, Illinois. Rend Lake has almost 19,000 acres of water area for recreation including boating, fishing, camping, and a resort. Government. Local government. The City of Mount Vernon uses a council-manager government with a mayor. The Mount Vernon City Council meets regularly on the first and third Mondays each month. Meetings are moved to the following Tuesday if the first or third Monday falls on a holiday. The elective officers of the City of Mount Vernon shall be a mayor, 4 councilmen, a city clerk, and a city treasurer. At the general election for city offices to be starting in January 1969 and every 4 years thereafter, there shall be elected a mayor, city clerk, city treasurer, and 2 councilmen. At the general election held in 1967 and every 2 years thereafter, 2 councilmen shall be elected. The current mayor and council are Mayor Mary Jane Chesley, Council, Don Tamor, Dennis McEnany, Todd Piper, and Jeff May. Crime education. Mount Vernon City Schools operates elementary and middle schools. There are 4 education centers operated by School District 80 within the city: Dr. Andy Hall Early Childhood Center, which educates preschool children; Mount Vernon City Schools Primary Center, which includes grades K-3; J.L. Buford Intermediate Education Center, which includes grades 4 and 5; Zado Casey Middle School, which educates grades 6 to 8. Mount Vernon Township High School is the community high school. Area colleges and universities: Rend Lake College, John A. Logan College, Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Media, newspapers. Mount Vernon Register News is located in downtown Mount Vernon, serving the city and surrounding county. The Morning Sentinel is a daily newspaper located within the city that covers local, countywide, and regional news. Radio WMAX is an AM frequency radio station operating within the city and owned by Withers Broadcasting. WMAX-FM is an FM radio station with a country music format on 94.1 MHz. WDML is an FM radio station with an adult rock and amp roll format on 106.9 MHz. Television. WPXS is a television station broadcasting north of Mount Vernon, operating on digital channel 21 and virtual channel 13. Transportation. Roads and highways. I-57 runs north and south and is local. I-64 runs east and west and is local. IL-37 runs north and south and is local. IL-15 runs east and west and is local. Airports. The Mount Vernon Airport has a 6,500-foot main runway, fixed base operation, terminal building and storage hangars. Charter and private aviation services are provided, as well as refueling. The facility offers Shell 100 and Jet A fuels and pilot lounge with weight and exercise room, shower and snooze rooms. Wireless internet in the airport terminal, complimentary refreshments, courtesy shuttle, as well as overnight hangar reservations. Mid-America Airport, a cargo airport approximately 45 miles from Mount Vernon, located in Mascoutar, Illinois along Interstate 64. Railroad service: Evansville Western CSX, Norfolk Southern, Union Pacific, Burlington Northern, Santa Fe. Motor freight: UPS Freight, FedEx Freight, Direct Motor Freight bus service: Greyhound. South Central Mass Transit District. Notable people: